premenstrual syndrome, which is a lot of pain before menstruating. This is not a rule, but many times happens that the person is attached to an idea of how things should be and not having an easy time letting go of something that they inside know that is already it already served. It's not doing any more good in your life.
Hey guys, welcome to our SoulFam Podcast, where I interview space holders from all over the world. I am your host. My name is Karolina, and I'm the connection catalyst. I help spiritual entrepreneurs experience deeper connection with themselves, with others, and with the universe. Today's guest is Planeta, a womb healer, a feminine guide, and a yogi. And I'm super glad to have you on the show today. Welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you. Well, super happy and honored to be here sharing this beautiful space. Thank you for offering and opening it.
Thank you so much. I am so pumped to talk to you because recently I had a podcast where I spoke to a guy, Kyle, who is a men's work facilitator. So it was all about the masculine energy and also balancing the masculine and
Nice.
feminine. And so today I really want to bring this topic of femininity and actually healthy femininity because feminine can be also sometimes toxic in a way. And we were talking about toxic masculinity before, but today I want to talk about healthy femininity versus toxic femininity and how to get to this healthy feminine, divine feminine that we all are, that sometimes is covered with all these programs and all these subconscious automatic things that are governing us. And so I think that one of the most important topics in the area of femininity is to talk about the cycles that females are going through, because nowadays not many people talk about it, and I feel like it's so important to know that women are actually not always aligned with specific things depending on where they are at on their cycle. So I would love if you could share with us what is this feminine cycle, how long it is, more or less, what are the stages that we are going through, and maybe also the tips of what to do and what to focus on and what also not to do in specific times of the cycle, so that the women who listen know that maybe in these times they shouldn't push themselves, or maybe they should rest in this specific period. So I would love if you could share a little bit about that with us.
Of course, thank you. Well, this is a world. It's super extensive and deep and so magical and beautiful. And I would say it's so much relief, like when you understand what's going on. So you actually stop like fighting yourself and pushing yourself like over your limits, and you start to consider yourself, your energy, and respect it, right? So it is a path of self-knowledge that will take us to self-respect, first of all, and understanding. And this clarity will always empower us. So it is a very important thing to know if we have a cyclic body as women do. So there are many things that are happening at the same time. We could talk about, for example, hormones, which is to me the most complex topic because there is a lot. It's not only the four main hormones that most of us we know, right? It's so many others that they are doing their dance, this communication from the brain to the ovaries and back all the time, but also they are playing with other hormones that take place when we are too stressed, right? So it's a lot of components that we need to take in account when we want to understand how the hormones are affecting us. But without getting so much into this, because it's really too extensive, I would say that it's important to know that, at least to know that we do have four phases of every cycle. So one cycle has four phases, and this is why we say that there are like 4 women living inside of us, right? Like we become 4 different characters being one person, right? And this has to do with this hormonal movement. So there are 2 phases, for example, that they have more solar, if we want to say it like that, energy, which is more energy to go outside, to be communicating with others, socializing, having fun in the world, like a lot of going out, right? Is the more extroverted energy. And these 2 periods are the pre-ovulation and the ovulation. And it also makes sense, right, that when our body is maturing the ovule, then the egg will be ready to get ¿cómo se, how do you say? Sorry, because I'm thinking in Spanish. Well, they are waiting for the sperm. They're waiting for the sperm to come and fecund it. How you say that?
Oh, I know what you mean, but I have no idea about the word. I'm Polish, so
The word.
I'm not an expert, but
Yeah.
when the egg and sperm come together, right?
Together, exactly. So the energy of the egg is totally willing to accept this sperm, right? So it's coming out like all our energy in our body. We want to get in touch with people. Either we are looking for a baby or not. Either we have a partner or not. Is the energy that is available if we wanted to have a baby inside of us. That would be the perfect timing for creating it. That's the point. So it's beautiful how the wisdom of the biology actually takes us there, takes us to the world, to meet people, to engage, to really connect. And the other 2 phases that are more like lunar phases, or the dark side of the period, not so much this luminous moment, then we start to go inside, like the night is coming over us, right? And we start to go deeper inside to ourselves. So we may not be so interested on going out, having deep conversations or difficult conversations more than deep, but we are more willing to create stuff, for example, to paint, to make some art, to write, to observe inside, to have more spaces for meditation, for reflection, for also letting go stuff that we can observe. Oh, we did all this in this period. Now what can I let go with my blood, like intentionally? What can I let go to also open space for the new things that I want to plant? So this, in a hormones level, this is all supporting these different phases that we have available to really make use of them instead of trying to fight it, which is what I was saying at the beginning. So when we don't know these 4 stages that are super real, unless we don't have a natural period because we are maybe taking pills or some kind of hormonal pill, or how's it called, I'm sorry, my words in English are going, but the DIU, for example.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
the
DIU, right,
spiral,
in
or any
English.
contraception that we're using, or hormonal regulation.
Device. That's the word I wanted to get to. Device. Yeah, a hormonal device or a pill or something like that. That is going to disrupt this organic dance of the hormones. So if we have these kind of things, then it's a little bit more difficult to realize like the 4 different stages. But if we are having a natural period, then we can start to observe and to take advantage of them. When we don't know this, then we are conditioned by society, by our parents and everything around us, that we have learned that we have to be super active all the time, that we need to be just like men, like super linear, that they seem is not real, but they seem that they can push it to the limit, and difficultly they will get tired. They are always in the top, so we need to be the same, and in order to, to be considered as valuable, like as them, right? So, but this is not natural. It's not even possible. Like, we can push ourselves. Yes, we can push ourselves, and maybe not resting ever, until one day our body will tell us, like, okay, you didn't do it, like, for good. Now we have this disbalance, or even illness, or something, or just super tiring moment that will make you stop, like, even if you don't want to. If you don't allow yourself to do it, your body will do it at some point, because that's the natural thing to happen. It's like, we need the night to rest, we need the day to be alive, we need the winter to also get inside, and then the salvia from the plants, they need to go to the roots, so they can rise up again to the foliage, right? So this is natural processes, and we are natural beings, and we are the daughters of Mother Earth, and we look and behave just like her, right? So this is important wisdom, inner wisdom, that we all have, that if we learn how to listen to it, then we have everything in our advantage. Um, yeah, I have here, I wanted to show, this is a little painting here. And here
Beautiful.
you can see,
Tell
here
us
you can
about it,
see,
because some people will listen to the audio. So tell us about it a little bit.
it's true, it's true, okay. So, well, anyways, we have here it's a draw of a big tree. And the tree has 4 stages, or 4 seasons. That, well, in your country you do have the 4 seasons. I don't, because I'm from the tropics. But but we can also, it's very subtle, but we can also appreciate it. But for people from northern countries, this is easy. So we have winter, we have the spring, then we have summer, and then the autumn. And you see in a tree how the leaves are showing you the 4 seasons, right? And this is the energy, is so similar to humans. It's so beautiful that we are so much like that, because it also makes sense why we need to, like, nurture our bodies from plants, because they are, like, so similar in their behavior and everything that they contain. So the leaves of the tree will tell us about this cyclicity. What I was saying, in the winter, we will see that the tree is naked of leaves, and all the energy is not death. It's just like resting. It's like sleeping, and the energy is in the roots, like recovering and draining whatever is not needed for the tree anymore, and bringing back up new energy from the earth. So it's recycling this energy, like refreshing it. And then we can also see this, for example, in the cycle of the moon. So we have also the new moon, which is the moment that when the plants don't go like in the 4 seasons, like with the leaves like that, they also do the cycle in a little shorter cycle of 28 days with the moon. So during the new moon, the energy will come back down to the roots. Then with the crescent moon, or the spring, we will see how everything starts to blossom again, little by little, right? It's a process. It's not one day it is already spring. It's a process that we start to see. So it's like looking at a girl growing up, right? Or, for example, receiving the first bleed, the first menstruation. That's also blossoming for a person. And then we see that the energy in the roots is more like silence, right? And then we wake up, like in the morning, we wake up again, and then we have refreshed energy for everything that we can think of, and we are full of ideas of everything that we want to do in that day, and our projects and our plans. And this is pre-ovulation as well. So this is the energy that is coming up. Then we reach the peak of the period. Will be the summer, when everybody is out and happy, and the heat, and all the animals are out and mating and all this. And we have, this is obviously a metaphor. It's not that we need to be all like 100% synchronized with this, but if we were, then the full moon would be also the mature egg that is ready to materialize, to express. So it's the more expressive moment of the cycle. And we call here also the archetype of the mother, which is nurturing. So that's what I was saying at the beginning. We are more like open to people and to listen to them and give advices, and dealing with situations in a more positive way, because the archetype is the mother in her healthiest aspect, right? But as everything, it needs to also come back to sleep. So then we have the autumn, the leaves, they gave everything to the world, and now they are ready to, again, fall back down and complete again the cycle, going back to earth, and the energy going back to the roots. So that's what I was showing in the in the painting that I forgot that we cannot show, because this is only radio.
We can do
But
both.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, like this is obviously like a way of explaining what's going on in the cycle. There is so much more to be told, but I think it's easier to imagine or to start to recognize it in ourselves when we have nature to show us the way. So we have plants and we have the moon. And if you are in Poland, for example, then you also have the four seasons. So that's a very nice guide to understand, okay, this also happens inside me. And I can feel and perceive the effects that has in my mind, in the way I think, which is not the same when we are in spring, like awakening in the day, than when we are already going to bed at night, tired, and we already did what we did, and we are like, okay, looking back, and I could do this and I couldn't do that, and what happened and how I faced that, and right, it's more a reflective moment. So this is more like the energy and even the psychological aspect that to me is the easiest way to start with, to understand what's going on with our changes. Why are we changing all the time? Why sometimes we feel so different from ourselves last week, right? And be in peace with that, and understanding that that's actually how it should be, that it would be not natural if we always feel exactly the same. There are people that are more lineal, that's true, but there are always some changes, and those are interesting to watch and to observe.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing all that. That's amazing. And it really helps to have this metaphor of the season, because I can see it in myself, at least when I'm on my period and I'm bleeding. I'm way more internal. I'm way more keen to just be with myself and lay down in bed and not to do much. And obviously, because also sometimes I would have a little bit of pain when I'm bleeding, but also just the mindset is completely different. And then when I go out to the world, I'm so pumped to create something. I'm so pumped to be around people and to be so active. So that's beautiful to know that it's great to go through this and to accept it, and not to push yourself when you feel like you're internal and you're in this new moon, let's say, to actually give yourself time to be there and to journal and to meditate and to process as well what has been accumulated. Because I feel like the period for a woman is the time to really dive into what has been happening for the whole cycle, and to process all these feelings that we were going through, right? And to the time for contemplation and seeing what's there. And for some women it can be quite challenging, because I used to have very heavy periods with a lot of bleeding and a lot of pain. And I wanted to ask you if you have any advice to women who are going through really hard time emotionally and also physically, what they could do to make this bleeding part lighter for themselves.
Well, there are things that you can do like physically and like easy things to do. Like, for example, giving yourself some warm, you can use a sack full of seeds, warm them up, and put it on your belly, on your lower back when you feel pain. Keep your feet warm, your all your belly and back and lower back for sure, but also your feet. Sometimes also your head needs to be warmer. This is like something easy to do, or for example, having a tea of ginger tea or cinnamon tea, things that will warm you up. This will always help. And there are so many tips to go like that, but to me, what is mostly important is, again, is going back to these four seasons, and now also to the archetypes, because if we understand that we have different energies per phase, then the not pushing becomes something logic to do. And it is not so much only like, okay, yeah, I understand that I have seasons and I need to respect them. Yes, but why? Why would you respect them? Like, what happens if you don't go with that flow? So, for example, the premenstrual syndrome, which is a lot of pain before menstruating, this is not a rule, but many times happens that the person is attached to an idea of how things should be, and not having an easy time letting go of something that they inside know that is already it already served. It's not doing any more good in your life. It can be a person, a relationship, a habit, a place. It can be so many things, even an idea, or an idea of yourself, like, oh, I should be, I don't know, super successful, I don't know, top model of whatever, right? Like that's an idea. I need to be that image. I need to go in that catwalk and do it every day, and I need to have all this public and photos and appear in magazines, and that's my idea of success, for example, right? Which is perfect. But the thing is that sometimes life can tell you, well, that's a beautiful project, but we have something, like universe can tell you, I have something better for you, or not better, but something that is not that. Like, maybe you can also like try something different, but then you are so attached that that's the only thing you want to do, and you're not allowing yourself to try something else that can also benefit you. And inside, you know that that would be maybe the real answer and your real call, right? And then you are not allowing yourself to go there because you are attached to that idea. And then your body, because you're not paying attention with your awareness, your body will tell you, your body will call on that attention at some point. And this is why we, in Spanish is somatizar, to somatize, I don't know, which is when your body expresses what you are not allowing yourself to express with your actions, with your words, with your way of living or behaving, right? This makes sense, Caro?
Yes, it does. So, for example, I when I was super exhausted with my work and my body couldn't handle it, it gave me COVID, and then I had to lay down in bed for a week because I was pushing myself too hard, and the body was like, "Nope, you're not doing it." The universe was like, "Now you're laying down in bed, you're not able to do anything at all because you need to let go of this idea that you need to work hard right now." And you can see that if you have to make space for resting, you will make space for resting. So it's kind of this idea of like your body just reacting, and it happens and you cannot really do anything about it because the wisdom of the body and the wisdom of the universe just brings you what you need, not necessarily what you want.
Exactly. Like there is a nice example I like to give. For example, progesterone is the hormone that has to do with the premenstrual phase. Okay, what is the message of this hormone, this beautiful hormone? It helps the inner part of the womb to get thicker when we are ovulating. In case an sperm comes and unites with the ovule and implants in this in the womb, right? So for this new life to grow and be supported and have the perfect environment to become a baby, then the progesterone helps a lot, making a beautiful space full of nutrients and perfect pH and perfect level of grease and everything that this new being will need to really grow strong and have the vital force, right? But when we don't receive this sperm and the baby is not coming, then the wisdom of the hormone is also to realize, okay, I made this, this space for the baby is the best quality that any human body can create. Like it's the best of the best. Nothing can go beyond that. And the hormone also realizes, well, I did all this effort to create this amazing environment and this guest is not coming. So now I need to let go, no matter how much effort and energy took me to make it. I need to let go because this is the natural thing to do. And also because I can trust that I can do it again. And this is
Mm.
important, that we can always have another opportunity. And even when we are stop, when we stop in an older age, we stop to bleed and having this cycle with the ovules, we still can make use of the energy that we've been like studying in ourselves and experiencing, that there is always another breath after I exhale. There is always air to breathe back in, right? To inhale. So it's the same thing. Like maybe I stopped maturing the eggs, but I knew, I understood how to recycle the energy because we didn't give birth to a child every time we were ovulating, right? But we can create so many projects in life. So this is a like rechanneling the energy so we can make use of it and not being like depressed, because this is another symptom of the premenstrual phase, that the person can feel unaware that is having like a little or big depression, because in the biology they may feel that there is some energy that wasn't being used for some creation after ovulation. So this is a way that we can like understand it with our minds and decide how we are going to make use of that energy and not getting depressed about losing the energy.
Hmm.
Tell me if this makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you for sharing that. It actually is really awakening in a way for me, because I wouldn't think that subconsciously women can feel depressed about not using the energy, because it's not a conscious process. It's like, okay, I'm not going to use the energy and I'm, not doing anything about it. But subconsciously we knew that I could have done something with it and now I didn't. So now it brings me down. I didn't know that. So thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, to all the women that are listening to us, go and do something when you have all this creative force, creative power, and energy within you while you're going out there to the world, because otherwise it can then affect you if you don't use this energy. So thanks for sharing that. This is
Yeah.
really, really
And
amazing.
And Carolina, an idea, like more precisely for what you just said, is like when we passed ovulation and we want to create, we might not have so much energy, remember, because already We passed the summer. Now we are going to autumn. So how can we do? How can we use this energy according to the level of energy that we already have? So something easy is to think of creating or manifesting something fast. For example, making a cake, or sewing a new share, something like clothing, um, painting, or cleaning up your closet from the clothes that you don't use anymore, or giving a deep cleansing to the house. So you're also making space for the new that is coming out after, right? But we might not be so much energetic like to go and make the garden, for example. But we can do like little creations that we can see manifesting there right now. So cooking is always a good idea, painting is always a good idea. Things that you can do with your hands also, because your hands are a beautiful expression of creating and manifesting. So that's also like psychologically, without even having so much awareness about it, when you use this energy to create things with your hands that you can materialize here and now, this helps a lot. So this is a good also tip for those moments.
Awesome. I love this tip. And I found myself also enjoying in autumn season. I found myself also enjoying more like creative work, and maybe dancing a little bit, or maybe, yeah, painting, or maybe something just, yeah, just useful for this beautiful energy. But as you said, we might not have as much of it, which is a great thing to highlight here, that do something that is not pushing you beyond your limits, because that's what sometimes women do in this quite masculine still world, that they try to be like men and push themselves to their limits and even beyond, to keep up and to be in this rat race that we have going on in the world at the moment. And so,
Mm-hmm.
how, speaking of which, it brings me to this kind of I don't know. I'm just wondering, this idea of, how do you see that women should show up at work based on the cycle? Meaning, for example, what kind of rules or regulations or things that could make it easier for women to show up at their job? Because obviously we are not like men. We have different cycles, we work in a different way, we are more empathetic, emotional, and they are more logical, straight to the point. And so, what changes would you see in the world to bring more femininity and kind of like invitation to be feminine in this world?
Yes. Well, it comes to me when we talk about this. To me, it's super exciting because I can visualize and envision that word, not so far away. There is a beautiful book from Miranda Gray. She wrote this book, is called The Four Phases of the Red Moon, and she talks about this so much. And she's inviting, like, okay, you woman first, think about it, and then you can tell others, right? But if you understand that, for example, menstruation is not inhabilitation, it's not that I am not able to do anything, no, it's not that, but is that my intuition, for example, will be more awakened than my logic and my reason thinking, right? It's like my mind wouldn't be that fast. It's not a multitasking mind. It's not a so much social mind. Maybe it's not the best moment to organize a big meeting with many people and bring idea. Yeah, no, maybe this is not the moment. But it might be the perfect moment to review what's going on with what we have created. So if I'm in an enterprise or in a big business, and I am the leader of my team, then this would be a very good moment to see, okay, let's start one by one with my employees. What are they doing? What are the results this far? As a team, what have we achieved together? What the strategies worked in the past? Like, yeah, like review. So in this moment, we have this ability to see, okay, maybe this didn't work, so let's not try this anymore. Or maybe we can already let go of that thing. So it's like you take your life and how you analyze and discern and choose after at the end of the cycle from what you've been doing, you bring it to the company and do exactly the same. So for example, if I have a boss and I need to create a report like based on maths and statistics and all this, and I'm menstruating and he wants it now, maybe in that future that we hope is not so far, I can tell him like, okay, boss, listen, I can do it. It's going to take me more energy, more effort. I might fail in some numbers even because my mind is not 100% for this task in this moment. But if you give me 4 or 5 more days, I promise I will have this report so well done. Like I will even put extra information that you're not asking me right now because I am going to have that ability in that moment. My mind is going to be fresh. My blood is going to be my brain. So I am going to be able to see all of that you are asking me, and I will have it perfect for you. So then you can negotiate with them and make them understand that it's actually beneficial for them too and for the company. Because if I can work better because I am using the energy that I have, then I can channel it for the good of the company as well.
Mm.
Yes.
I love that. Absolutely. It's so, yeah, it's all about communication, really. But at first, people need to realize what is going on, first of all, inside of them as women, and also communicate to men at the same time because men don't also know what's going on. And because no one really teaches it at school or anywhere, really. So, there are the workshops that men can attend and learn more about feminine body and everything, but it's not a common knowledge yet right now. And so that's why we are speaking about it, bringing it to light. And I absolutely love this communication, like, hey boss, I'm gonna do even better than I expect soon, but not right now. Right now you
Exactly.
can ask me for a card reading and I'm gonna tell you your future because my intuition is so big, right? But don't ask me to
Yeah.
think logically at the moment because I'm just not gonna be as good at that. But I feel like maybe for some people it might be like, oh, women are not able to do these mental tasks, these logical tasks, because they are in the cycle and whatever. But we are. It's just that we are able to do it pretty well in specific times, and in other times we are there to reconsider what we have done and then to bring something even better for the next time, because we have this time for contemplation and going inside, and we can really reconsider then and feel intuitively what was okay, what was not aligned, and then we can come to this again logical part of us with even more understanding and wisdom that we all goddesses have. So yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
I love this vision of the world that we are creating, that you just picture. This is great. This is absolutely great.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's smarter. It's just smarter. It's going to work better. Like we are not as a society, we are not losing anything for letting women rest when they need it. It's actually the logic thing to do. It's like, do I want this tool for? We are not tools, but this is a metaphor also. Do I want this tool to last longer, or I want to exploit it until it's broken in 2 days? And
Hmm.
well, yeah, I mean, it's different uses and different results. But if we want something that is going to last and we're going to have better results in the future for giving these spaces for resting, then let's do it. Like, well, I don't know, it seems very logic to me, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, like
Absolutely.
it's health in general. And also there is another part which is relationships and how we relate with each other. So instead of having a lot of drama in the office, then we can avoid that too because we are respecting people's cycles and is yeah, it's for the benefit of everybody. Then everybody is rested, then everybody has a knowledge of what's going on and how to deal with it. So we are not irresponsible people blaming others for their unawareness, and right. So we can be responsible for ourselves, and also we can respond to others people's needs. So this is more aligned to a respectful way of relating in society as well.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. And so I wanted to come back for a little bit to this topic of PMS, which is for those of you maybe who are men and don't know, it's when the woman goes crazy before their period, before they're bleeding. Because I've heard, and also that feels aligned with me and how I function, that sometimes the stress can come because we are resisting the period or the femininity itself, right? Because when we are having this idea in us, this belief system that when I'm on my period, I'm gonna be stressed, I'm gonna be pissed off, or I'm gonna be sad, or everything is gonna hurt me, and I'm resisting it. I'm resisting the natural way of life and natural flow of the feminine energy. Then it can cause this resistance can cause a lot of stress, and then these times before the bleeding can be even worse for us because we are kind of pushing it away, and it's not going to go anywhere, right? It's still going to be there. So you might as
Mm-hmm.
well accept and allow this to be there and take it on as it is, because the less you resist it, the easier it will probably flow for you. Would you agree with that?
Totally. And also another way to get in peace with this fact, right? Especially if it's something that I am experiencing period over period, and this is my normal thing to feel. Then the best thing to do is to face it, because as Jung said it, right, the thing that you resist or reject, it will trap you. That's your big thing. And the moment you face it and you accept it as for what it is, then you can transform it. And this is beautiful. Like, if the person, the woman, is not, for example, taking a time to see, like looking at the blood either in a cup or in a pad or whatever she's using, like looking at the cup, well, especially if it's not, if it's something more ecological, like the cup, the menstrual cup, or the natural pads, right? That they don't change the pH of the blood, so the smell is the right smell, is not a smell that is combined with other chemicals, and that they are super nasty, even that they smell bad, and you don't want to smell that. So something good to do is to change what you use for your blood into something ecological. And then you can appreciate, okay, in a cup, for example, my blood has this color. What's the real color of my blood? Because it's not only red. It can be dark red, it can be brown, it can be orange, it can be pinky, it can be with a lot of water, like, or it can be super dense, it can has a tissue in it, or mucus. So how is my blood? What comes with? This is a diagnosis that we have for free every time we bleed. So it's a gift if we learn how to read it. So what is my blood telling me? Um, are my organs, my inner organs, working well, so I have a good quality blood, or all the opposite? And if it's the opposite, okay, I can see now that I have to do something about, because I might be in risk in my health, right? Um, so observing, looking at it, smelling it, that's so important, to smell it. And if you dare, try it, taste it, to see how is the flavor of that. As a mammal, like recognizing your own thing, right? This is a very nice first step to face that and to get in that peace, because then you accept, okay, this is me, and this is my blood, and this is how it smells and looks, and this is what it's telling me right now. maybe I don't know anything. Like, I don't know what it means. Okay, but now I have a motivation to go and study and see, okay, well, let's find it out. What this tissue means here, right? Or this color. And then when we start to understand what it means, then a book of possibility opens in front of us. And then we start to understand, oh, wow, maybe it's my diet. Maybe I've been eating not good food, and now I see a lot of mucus in my blood, or maybe I have crystallizations in my womb or in my ovaries. I don't know the name in like kists. Yeah, maybe kists. Or myomas. Yeah, I don't know these words in English. Sorry, but like but like little balls, like hard balls that they get stick there, and they're very painful and uncomfortable, and they make so much they give us problems in our regular life. So maybe if I change the diet, if I stop consuming, for example, dairy, they will reduce their size, and then I know that there is something I can do. So also something important is that we become more independent. We don't need to be like always 100% of the time going into a doctor to tell us basic things that we should know for ourselves, right? But the only way to know this is to take our bodies as the most beautiful lab we will ever be experiencing in. So yes.
That's cool. I feel inspired to do this after you shared. And so, little question that comes to my mind when you said it is, when should we be alarmed? When the blood is specific color, for example, when something is going wrong in our body, what is the red flag? Oh, just, generally, maybe you don't need to describe all of the colors and all of the tissues or whatever, but
Right.
what is like a real red flag? When we see it, it's like, oh no, I probably should go and pay more attention to it.
Well, I would say right now I'm thinking in three. One would be we bleed like 7 or more days a lot. That's a red flag. We shouldn't be bleeding so much. So if there is a lot of bleeding, like more than 5 or 6 days, it's already an alarm. If it's more than 7 days and we don't stop bleeding, that's a red flag, definitely. Then another one would be there is no blood at all, right? Absence of it. That's not good. We need to let go. So the blood is not going in the flow. Okay, there is yeah, it's stuck inside. And when the blood gets stuck, then it will get bad inside, and that's not good. So that's another reflect. And also about the colors, well, if your blood is like super dark, black, gray, and not only the blood, but the other fluids along the month, right? If they become gray or too yellow, and if they smell really bad, then those are alarms to go and check. But yeah, for the blood would be mostly the absence, the abundance, or a super dark color, or the opposite, super clear color, like a lot of water and not so much blood. So it becomes like pinky or orange. So yeah, these are like irregularities to look at.
Thank you for that. Thank you. That's some beautiful feminine wisdom flowing in. That's great. I'm gonna certainly pay more attention to my blood after our chat today. That's amazing. And
Good, good, good.
and so, what can we do as women to actually heal our wombs? Do you have maybe like a ritual that you can share to all our with all our listeners? Something simple that every woman could implement today or tomorrow, and just for the healing of the womb, or maybe to even receive some wisdom from the womb, and to, yeah, just align your life accordingly, because sometimes in the womb there's a lot of stored emotion or a lot of wisdom as well, but if we don't connect to it, if we don't do some ceremonies or rituals, or we don't have how was it called, red tents anymore, where women are gathering together for the period. We kind of lose this sight of the wisdom that is stored there. So what could be the ritual or something or an exercise that all the women could do with the womb to get more connected to it?
So many, but something easy to do right now would be, well, we all can sit down on the floor. That would be first thing. Why? Because we live in a big matrix, but not in a bad way. In a big, in a big womb, which is Mother Earth, like Gaia. This planet is a womb, giving birth to life all the time and keeping the life. So we could say that we are in a womb. So to get connected to our own womb would be bringing our womb closer to the big womb, so closer to the earth. So I would say let's start to sit on the ground, like opening a little bit the gluteus, so we can sit on the sit bones and really feel that from the sit bones with the spine long, that we grow roots, and imagining that the roots come all the way down to the center of the earth and connecting there. So this would be like the first thing to do. Once we are there, breathing through the nose and exhaling with or like A, the letter A. This is a lower vibration, like more a grave vibration that brings some resonance to the womb. With your hands, with your palms on your belly, you can create also a little triangle, like touching the index and the thumbs, and then you are making like a triangle, like drawing with your hands
Like
how the
this?
womb actually like this, with the base up and the tip of the triangle down, looking down. So this is like it's like we are imagining that the womb is in the middle of this triangle, right? So we can place our hands there, imagining the roots and singing the A, or long A's. It doesn't matter. This will come as the woman feels it, and how she wants to experience it. So this would be a very nice start. From here, I would like to use this opportunity to invite everybody, women and men, but obviously we're talking about women, so especially, but for everybody that wants to connect more with the healing feminine energy, then every full moon there is a huge women's circle around the world, and not one, it's like four times during the full moons, which is called the Worldwide Womb Blessing. Or when we don't have this one, we have the full moon meditations, but everything from the same system. And this is something that everybody can have access because it's for free. Anybody that feels it can organize a group and invite people to do to open this space together, or they can do it by themselves. So it has to do with going to the page, downloading for free the beautiful, super beautiful meditations, or even there are some that are on YouTube already recorded if you don't want to read, and do these easy, short, and so beautiful meditations that are all about the womb and the healing of the womb and the four energies that we all have. So this is something, it's a resource that is for everybody, it's open, and it has some aspect that is important, which is it's 10 years that we are getting together to meditate on these same meditations. And when you do that, you give an energetic charge to the words, to the meditation themselves, so they become stronger, right? So it's like what I did to you, the womb healing, remember, is from that system as well. So it's a technique that the more we do it, the more stronger it becomes. So it's the same thing with these meditations, and I'm sure, 100% sure that whenever you do them, because it doesn't need to be only in this specific dates, you can do it any other moment that you feel it, that you need it, is going to be powerful because it already has this energetic charge from so many women around the world. So that would be a nice thing to do.
Amazing. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And I want to talk more about the healing that we've had and also the healing that you do with women, because I know that you're working long term with women to discover their cycles, to journal, to for the all the beautiful feminine energies there to discover themselves, really, because as you said, we have so many characters inside, and if we can take time to discover each of them, then we can know ourselves on a deeper level and have more self-awareness. So could you tell us a little bit about what you do, and when you work with women, what kind of processes you're implementing with them, and what kind of results you have as well based on the work that you do?
Mm-hmm. Well, I work specifically. There are two systems that I love. One is this one that I already explained a little bit, which is the system of Miranda Gray, the author of the book I also mentioned before. And this is more like energetic channeling techniques as the one we work together. This is one way of supporting the woman's process in the energetic field, because this is not so much a mental process. Then the other system I work with is from my other teacher, my other mentor, which is Zulma Moreira from Argentina. And her system is called the Madre Tierra, which is like Mother Earth. And this is a 6 moons, not months, moons program that can be taken one-to-one or in a group. Right now, I'm more focused on the groups because they are so powerful, and it has to do also with this, like being supported with other people that are going through similar things that you do. So this is beautiful when we get together and share from that. But it's 6 moons where we have this journey through the 4 stages of any woman's life, that they also have resonance with the 4 archetypes. They are not exactly the same, but very, very, very similar. And then we can see how the archetypes are expressing not only in the 4 phases of the cycle, but along our lives. And we can see that having also as a reference our ancestors, alive or transcendent. So when we talk, for example, about the blood, then we are talking about the family tree and our relationship with our mother, with our grandmother, specifically with them too, because they are like the closest connection in this aspect. And also, if we have daughters, then we have that archetype showing us, like, okay, how is my daughter expressing even or projecting to me my own inner child archetype, right? And or if we don't have daughters, well, we always have a mother. Either we don't know her, the biological one, or we do, or either we don't have a relationship with her or not. She's there, and she will always be there. So that's also information that is being given to us, how my relationships are showing me like my path and how to get back to it, and to my purpose, right? um, Sorry, I forgot the question.
Oh, the question was just about the methods that you're using and also the results that
The
women
methods.
have based on the
Yes,
work that
true.
you do.
Yeah, sorry. That happens to me a lot, especially when I am in my premenstrual phase, which I am right now. Then not so much energy in my mind, but yeah. So understanding how these 4 archetypes are expressing in my life from the people around me, but also from myself, this will give me the information and the tools I need in order to overcome my issues, right? So I have like maybe two nice stories, very short, to give us an example. Both I love them. One would be one of my, well, the women that I work with. She wasn't looking for a baby when we started, and then along this process, we also give, it's optional, but we also give the possibility to go into a cleansing with herbs, for 50 days. And she did it, and she was very like, she was always punctual with all the homeworks, and like very into it, right? So she did all the cleansing, and the cleansing has the meditations, and it's a lot of like getting your body clean, yes, but also like observing while you are cleaning what is there, right? What are your fears? Why are you angry at? What are your desires, etc. So, for example, this girl, she wasn't looking for a baby, but the baby came when she just finished the cleansing. So her womb was like perfect. It was like super clean of energies and super clean, like physically and everything. And when she got pregnant, like she felt it. She saw the light coming into her belly, and she started to cry of joy. And she was so grateful. And now she has, I always tell her that she has the happiest baby in the world, because that baby is always smiling. And now she's a beautiful, happy mother. She didn't look for it, but when it came, she was okay with that, and she was actually like so happy about it. And I think this is important because as society also, I don't know, well, for me and many of my girlfriends, the story when we were adolescents, teenagers, was like, be careful with a pregnancy. Like, that's maybe the worst thing that can ever happen to you. You will lose your life and your studies and everything that is important, right? That was like the stigma that we got from our families that wanted to protect us, yes, but it was like so traumatizing, I think. And now now as a grown up, I realize like, well, that made me like reject a part of me that was that I am able to create life, that I can be a mother. And why is that something that bad to my mother, for example, right? That is not this, that was something bad by itself, but she wanted to protect me and make me be a professional and successful woman in the world. And a baby wasn't something that would support that. So I like this story for that. Like, it changed the way she was thinking, and she became, and these are her words, like, I wouldn't be the mother I am now if I didn't go through that process that made me see that I was that goddess able to give life, right? And the other story is another woman. She had these myomas. I don't know the word in English. I'm so sorry, but these balls in her womb that they were painful and they were big, and she wanted to be a mother, and the doctors would tell her, you can't, or we need to make you this surgery and this and that, which is the most common. And they also wanted her to have the pills and all that, and she didn't want to. So we started the process, and she changed her diet. That was like one of the most important things to do. She changed her diet, and then we went through the whole process. The balls got smaller, like from 3 centimeters, and now they are, well, centimeters. I don't know if that's the right measurement for you guys there, but now is 11 millimeters. So it's a huge difference, and without any chemicals. It was a change of diet and mindset, and now she's pregnant.
Wow.
So
Wow.
those things are so beautiful. It's like, well, it demonstrates that whenever you, and you know about this, Carolina, whenever you change your mindset, then you change your reality. and you stop being the blockage for yourself. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you take off these glasses of perspective that tell you that you can't do something or you can't heal something or you're not gonna reach this goal or whatever. Absolutely. Wow, I love these stories. They are so beautiful. Thank you for sharing them. It really opens my heart to hear, especially healing stories, because I believe that we have a power to heal. Our body has a natural power to heal. I always say when we do something to ourselves, when we have a bruise or a cut, our body heals itself. So we just cannot stand on the way of our body to do its job. If we stand too much on the way with, for example, wrong diet or lack of exercise or, you know, wrong mindset, then obviously it's not going to be that powerful, the healing ability of our body. But if we can just get ourselves out of the way, as you said, and change our mindset and change what we put into our body in terms of diet or um, exercise or meditation, then we can reprogram pretty much almost anything. And I really believe that. So I'm so grateful that you shared all of that with us today. It was a pleasure to have you here. And just please tell us where people can find you. If some women would like to maybe talk to you or work with you, how they can find you best.
Well, I think the best would be social media, either Facebook or Instagram. I'm gonna say it very slow because it's not easy, maybe for people that don't speak Spanish, but it's terapia, which stands for therapy, menstrual, Costa Rica, which is the country I was born. So terapia menstrual Costa Rica. And that would be the easiest way of getting to me. And it will be my pleasure to be of any help to anybody that feels the call. And welcome.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And I also want to mention that Planeta is running some retreats as well. And she's a yogi. So if you guys are interested, find her on Instagram or Facebook. And if you want to know more information will be there for sure. Thank you so much, Planeta, for your beautiful energy and your amazing feminine wisdom. It was really a pleasure to have you here, and I hope we can chat again at some point in the future. So, thank you so much, and namaste.
Thank you, Carolina. My pleasure. Namaste.